Welcome to Behind the Cover, a podcast from Chicago News Weekly, where we go beyond the headlines to meet the people, examine the ideas, and explore the stories shaping Chicago. I'm your host, Laura Miller. Chicago, I have a question for you. Are you ready for some football? I told them before we started that I wasn't going to say it, but I couldn't help it. I had to say it. I am here today with the athletic director of Chicago State University, Dr. Monique Carroll, and the men of the hour, Coach Room. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, so first things first, guys. I did some digging. I'm a football girly, but I was a cheerleader, so I don't really know a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't really have a lot of details with what's happening here, but I know very large things are happening. Okay. Case in point, you guys are ensuring that now Chicago Southside, and Chicago specifically, has a D1 football program. Is that correct?
That is correct.
First time since the 1930s.
1930s, right? So I'm going to start with Dr. Carroll first. This could not have been an easy thing to do in process. So without giving other universities the cheat code, can you tell us what kind of process this was and how long it took to get us here today?
So about 3 years in counting.
Oh my goodness.
So almost 4. So almost the day I walked in the door, we were looking at should we even explore football? You know, what did we need to add any sport, and will football be the sport? And I think the biggest factor that was, wasn't going to be financially feasible. Sports, especially in this landscape, a lot of money involved. Football, when you're moving 100 plus people, just the students around, plus coaches, plus staff, you have to look at, is this the right thing for us? So I think a lot of conversations went into it, a lot of studies, 186-page report on, these are the pros, cons, risks, basically a SWOT analysis. And it just kept shining. Like, it was just the right thing to do. It was the right time. It never wavered, even with the cons and the things we knew, the challenges we would have to overcome. It was always the pros column it was up there.
Wow. So I'm assuming this means you had to find the funding to get it here.
Yes, that was one thing. Our university board, and even myself, being a part of sports growth at other universities, you don't want to tax the students. You don't want to make it a burden on the university. And so we fundraised for the entire amount for the startup of the program. And if you know football, it's a revenue generating activity. And so we know that we'll be able to sustain with that. But a lot of fundraising went into it. Coach participated in a lot of that fundraising to help us close out some things. But it was over the last about 2 years of just strictly fundraising for the program.
Wow. So can you give us an understanding of approximately how much money that was? Like, how much does it cost to create a D1 football program?
Yeah, so budgets can vary, especially you have FBS football, so you have what Illinois, Indiana does, but then you have FCS football, so us, Western Illinois, Southern Illinois, those universities. And so what we were primarily fundraising for was just the startup costs. No program in the world is buying all new helmets every year at this level. You're not buying all of the field equipment that you need, the sleds and all of those things. You're not renovating the weight room because you usually have one big enough. So that was the primary focus of the fundraising. So a little about 2.5 to 3 million we brought in. But then to run the program, obviously we'll spend substantially more, but that'll be paid from revenues and other sources.
Chicago loves football, though.
Yes,
I
do.
So I want to talk to you, before we get into the woods that is Chicago football, I want to talk to you about how you met Coach Bobby Rome here, too. Coach Bobby Rome.
The second, yeah.
That's right.
That was the process, too. You had to pick a coach.
Another process. So when you said Chicago loves football, I'm from Texas, and Chicago loves football.
More than y'all?
I can't say that.
I was gonna say, hold on,
I can't say that, but I will say Chicago loves football. But no, we knew we had to have a head coach. I'm good at a lot of things. Coaching is not my ministry. And so we knew we were looking for a leader for the program. Was pleasantly surprised by the interest. Over 300 applications. People applied. Anyone from, I just want to say, I applied to be the first head coach with 0 coaching experience, all the way up, to some resumes. And Coach Rome rose to the top when our committee interviewed him, when he was vetted by the search firm. Committee interviewed him. We left that first interview feeling like we wanted to suit up that day and play football. And so even on a Zoom, we felt that energy. And then we spent 24 hours together in person, going over that 186 pages from start to finish of what we were trying to accomplish. And it was a long day, just, me and him. And then we brought him on campus and to meet some other people. So it was like a 3-4-step interview process. And he just rose to the top every time. And that's what he continues to do, just continues to rise to the occasion.
So, Coach Rome, you have experience in being a program builder. So I want to talk to you about that because I can guarantee you knew at the moment you applied for this position that you were qualified to do it.
100%.
And Chicago, as we know, a little skeptical. So I want you to be in the brag different portion of this interview.
Okay.
So brag to us, Coach Rome.
Well, I would say first things first, the city of Chicago had a lot to offer. I always, when I watched the NCAA tournaments a long time ago, I always wondered why the city of Chicago didn't have a Division I football program. They've always had strong representation in the NCAA tournament from schools from the city of Chicago, but they never had a football program. I think starting with the vision and great leadership of Dr. Carroll, President Z. Scott, I think it kind of started there. I'm so blessed that they chose me. I look at coaching as a ministry and a calling. I couldn't have told you years ago that I would be in this position right now to be the first Division I head football coach at Chicago State University. But I'm so proud and honored that they chose me. And what we're going to bring to the city of Chicago, we're going to bring a smart, competitive football program that's going to compete every single time we get on the field. It's going to be something that everyone's going to be proud of. Our young men are going to get their education every single day. They're going to be warriors on and off the field, and they're going to do the right things. And we're going to win football games. Like that, that's what I'm here. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to develop young men, but I'm also here to win football games. And we're here to bring the best student athletes we can possibly find to Chicago State to help us win. And whether those young men are on the south side of Chicago, whether they're on the other side of Chicago, whether them young men are on the South Illinois, or whether they're in Indiana, Wisconsin, wherever they at. They're committing to come play and represent Chicago and Chicago State football. And we're going to go find them.
I love it. So most coaches inherit a team.
Mm-hmm.
You inherited an idea.
Right.
That's got to be tough, right?
Yeah, somewhat.
So how do you build an identity before you even snap the ball? Like before a snap, you have to have an identity of coaching, the team, the ideals, and the integrity associated with it. So how did you start the process of building that?
Well, first, it has to align with the vision. It has to align with the vision of the leadership. First thing they wanted me to make sure that we had to bring a program that was going to be sustainable for a long, long time. It wasn't going to be a flash by night type deal. This isn't something that we're just doing to say that we're first. That's not who we do. We do at Chicago State. We do stuff that's going to be sustainable for a long, long time, and we're a pillar on the south side, and we wanted to make sure that this football program represented that. So to speak to your question, I believe the first thing you need is a group of people that with the same like mind. Dr. Carroll, President Z. Scott, their vision, the people that was on the search committee, they understood what this football program was going to bring to the South Side, and that was opportunity. We wanted to make sure that we continue to deliver opportunity to the South Side and our student athletes, and to set that culture. We wanted to go out there and find young men that can set the foundation for our football program. And that wasn't just going out there and just finding talented young men. We wanted to find young men that was here to pour the concrete for something that's going to be sustainable for the next 100 years. What that's going to take is young men that understand that everything is not going to be perfect because it's the first time. Young men that's not afraid to take a challenge. Young men that are not afraid to bet on Chicago State, and young men that want to represent Chicago State in the best light. So it kind of started there, and we wanted to build a culture that was going to be sustainable as well. And that culture is not built by me, it's built by the student athletes that we recruited. So how we go to class is going to be important. Where we sit at in the classroom is going to be important. How we train is going to be important. Everything we do is going to be important. We're going to do it with a championship mindset. And that's the first thing I wanted to make sure that our guys did when they came through that door. Hey, everything you do here, you know, I don't care what you heard about Chicago State. I don't care what you thought Chicago State was when you got here. What we're about to turn this thing into is, you know, we're not putting no lid on top of this thing. Like I said, we want to go straight up to the sky, and like I said, we're not putting no lid on it. We know what we can bring here to be to the South Side community. We know we can be to the city of Chicago, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be able to lead these young men to do it.
I love that. And you know, one thing I noticed, and I'm about to get on my millennial soapbox, and y'all could get on it with me.
Okay.
There are things in sports that are different now, right?
Right.
There's the option of sponsorships. They're getting paid. They could be millionaires before they graduate. There's a new culture and identity. There's AAU. There's alternate programs that could push the movement of a student athlete forward. But one of the things that you just said that I think that was instrumental to me that stuck out was there are going to be strong students, and where they sit in class is important. But also to that, the thing that's always ever present to me is the concept of a coach.
Right. 100%.
It's traditional.
100%.
You're not adapting to the new landscape as much, or do you adapt to the new?
Well, I think you have to be flexible on both sides. You know, we're living in an age right now where our student athletes have more options than they ever had across the board. So what I'm trying to teach our young men how to do, because they're ultimately going to do this when they go to the next phase of life, is to commit to something. I think right now, our young people don't have an opportunity to learn how to commit to something. Commit to a university, commit to a football program, because they're going to have to commit to a family when they leave this university. You got to commit to being a provider for your family when you leave this university. You got to commit to getting up every day to go to work. So I think that part of my job, that part of that work, I think that's what being a coach is. Anybody can go out there and organize these guys to play football, but getting these young men prepared for the next phase of life, which I think they're going to be in that phase longer than they're going to be here at Chicago State, I think is the most important thing. And I think that's what we're providing here at Chicago State. And when we speak of opportunity, those are the things that we're speaking about.
So I think it's important for all of us, regardless to what happens tomorrow, to send flowers or pay homage to the people that got us to where we are. So I'm gonna ask both of you, what coaches, what teachers, what mentors do you believe made you strong enough to withstand something this large? How did you get here? Who should we pay homage to?
That's perfect.
Dr. Carroll, you go first.
We were just sitting talking about this on the bench a little bit yesterday. My college volleyball coach, Kawansa Bibles, you know, in college, you between, 18, 22, you know, the signs show your brain's still developing, you're still a little risky. But she saw something in me even then that I see now, but at the time didn't see it. You know, why are you signing me up for all these clubs and organizations? Why you keep nominating me for things? And that's really what piqued my interest. Knew I wanted to be in sports, but to get, I was a student on NCAA committees. A lot of people don't get those opportunities. So just her putting my name in the room And then the first boss I worked for, Ashley Robinson, he's the athletic director at Jackson State now. We worked together almost 10 years, first 10 years of my career. And he just showed me the ropes. But then the most instrumental thing he did when it was time for us to sever that rope, he was like, I'm going over here, you do what you need to do. And just having those kind of mentors and leaders, just before I got to Chicago State allowed me to get here. And then obviously, he had the best boss in the country. Z Scott's amazing. She gave me the keys to the athletic department, and every now and then she in the front seat with me. But typically she just sits back and lets me do what I need to do and lead the program how I want to lead. And that's why I think we got to a day like what's coming in 38 days, Chicago State football.
38 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coach Rome.
Well, for me, it would have to be especially a day because it's my dad's birthday. So yeah, it's my father's birthday. So I would say my dad. My dad has been my coach since youth league football, and I would say even before that, he was the one that gave me assignments before he went to work and expected them done by the time he got home. So just he kind of believed in me from the beginning, and then. Woody, him not afraid, jumping on the road with me in high school and stuff and going to different camps and stuff like that. My father's a graduate of Norfolk State University. He was a GA in baseball at Norfolk State. He worked as a graduate assistant when he got into coaching and stuff. So, and my dad kind of gave up coaching to kind of sacrifice for us to kind of, make more money for the family. So I've always felt like that was something that he really wanted to do because he's always talked about it all the time. He's coached me in high school, and he wanted to coach on the college level. So it was important to me to kind of get to that level and kind of let him kind of experience that while I'm here as well. Because I got this, when I got to college level, I got to see my college coaches kind of do the same. So it was important for me to do the same for my father. So he was a big influence on me in my life. And like I say, even now as a 40-year-old man, he's still raising me. So
I love that.
Yeah,
he got you out of high school into an elite university.
Yeah.
Into the NFL. Your dad's the man.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah, he's the man. He's a guy. He's that guy.
I love that. That's your person. And yes, okay, 38 days. Right?
Right.
Well, I want to skip ahead because I'm a future girly. So the season's over. We don't care how many wins and losses there was. What is success at the end of this year?
For me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I care about the wins and losses. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and get comfortable with it right now. So I definitely care about the wins and losses. We're putting in the work. There are expectations when they do choose you to be the head coach here in the city of Chicago. Chicago is not a city for losers. That's just let's just put that out there, and I'm just gonna put it out there. Chicago's not a city for losers, and we didn't recruit not one young man that can't come out there and compete up to that level. We know exactly what we signed up for. We know what we're walking into, and August 29th, our young men will be ready. They will be ready. When we put toe to football, they will be ready, and they're training every day like they understand that we're not just here to put toe to football. We're here to go out there and compete and to win every single football game we step on the field with. So don't care who shows up, don't care who it is. Man, the Bears can show up, and we're gonna play. We're gonna line up and play. We're gonna play the same football all day, every day. So.
I love that.
And that's why this is my head coach, right?
Exactly. I was like, that was intimidating, actually.
They say we definitely, we have a goal. We're not just trying to have a program. We definitely want to win. But I think when we sit down, and look at it and say, okay, the first season over, I think we'll really say, like, what did we learn? What did we learn about ourselves? About the university, about the team, and really, I think in that learning, that'll be where we say, okay, we did that. We know we're trending on that path to be successful in executing the football, but it's always that debrief where you really determine, how good, how bad, and with football, it's year round. So we'll take some time and then we'll go right back at it for next year. So I think, when we sit down, it will be just a moment to really be in the moment. Because the one thing I continue to say is it's our time. Coach just said it. This is our time. And so we're not going to pass the moment by. We're not going to let anybody else pass it by. We're going to sit in it. But that's what we'll, that debrief of, hey, we did it. And then how well did we do?
That's the athletic director answer. That's what she's going to.
That's right.
So listen, guys, we're going to do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
No wrong answers.
Gotcha.
But I might judge you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Favorite football movie?
Rudy.
Blindside.
What did you say?
Blindside.
Blindside.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like
Okay,
Blindside, too.
okay. Favorite game day meal?
If I take it all the way back for me, Cheez-Its and Mandarin oranges. Don't ask why. That was my volleyball ritual. It didn't help me do anything. It was mental, but I would add that as the favorite.
I know I said I wasn't going to judge you, but
I saw the
oh, interesting.
right.
Okay, and
Some type of pasta and grilled chicken. Like that's typically the
Keep it
thing.
simple.
Yeah, that's typically what we serve anyway to our student athletes. So that's kind of what I grab. So
that's a very sophisticated game day meal.
and carbs, you gotta get them carbs in you, man. You're gonna burn a lot of energy.
Pasta, though.
Yeah, you're gonna burn a lot of energy out there. So you gotta make sure you're running on all fuels.
That's true. Like, how many steps do you think you're gonna like compete in a day? Like, you count them?
No, I don't, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be burning that sideline up on Saturday. So
Really?
I'm gonna be chasing referees down the sideline, chasing players down the sideline, chasing coaches down the sideline. So yeah, I'm gonna be burning that sideline up on Saturday. So.
Okay, Coach Rom, this is for you.
Okay.
Offensive, defense.
Offensive guy,
You're an offensive guy.
for sure.
So how did you like survive when you switched from quarterback? When you switched
Well, I switched from quarterback to running back.
Yeah.
Well, I was always an offensive guy. So the first thing, my father, when he taught me football, he taught me to learn every position on the field.
Okay.
Like that was like, he told me to try my best to learn every single position on the field, you know, what they do and, you know, why they're important. So as a quarterback, learning what everyone does, you know, it made it easy to transition to another position. So when I moved to running back, that was natural for me. I was always been a good runner, but how I got moved to H-back is because I understood the motions, I understood the tempos of the motion, being a quarterback. So just watching tight ends go in motions all day and receivers going in motions, understanding the tempo, when the ball needs to be snapped, how to draw people off sides with your motions and stuff like that. I kind of added an extra layer to it because I guess I looked at it from a quarterback standpoint, why I needed to get open, why I needed to get to the flats as soon as possible, who I was uncovering in the route concept. I had an understanding of that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, okay. What's one thing fans don't realize about building a football team? Like the most random, weirdest thing that nobody would think about.
I got you. I got one.
Okay.
Well, I think what people don't realize when you're building a football program from scratch, it's not just the football players and the football team that's new to football. Mm-hmm. It's the entire institution and everybody inside. We're talking about admissions, we're talking about housing, we're talking about the cafeteria. You know, they got to bring in more food for those big hogs. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it affects every aspect of the institution, transportation, you know, and I mean, you wouldn't think that, but it does. And I think, you know, people don't understand it, think they would just act like, it's just like, okay, here's a football, you guys go play, and that's what happens, and that's how you start a football program. It is not. When we meet weekly, me and Dr. Carroll talk daily, and it's a collaborative effort on bringing football to Chicago State. So it just isn't me, it's Dr. Carroll, it's President Scott, it's all the committees that's helping us, it's our administrative staff that's busting their behind every single week, that's behind the scenes, that nobody gets to hear their names. They have an expectation as well. They have a standard that they created, and they want to win just as bad because they see the type of players that we're bringing through the pipeline and stuff, and making sure that their student athlete experience is going the right way. So all those aspects and the people that's you know, delivering in those aspects at Chicago State, I think is very special, but those are things that go into a football program that no one talks about.
I love that. So it's like a team within a team.
Super
It's a
team.
whole team.
It's a super team.
I love that. Dr. Carroll, what about you?
Along the same lines, you know, moving around 100 plus people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our largest team before football, men's soccer, so say roughly 30, 35. When the program moves, you know, that's a bus. You get on one bus, you go where you need to go, you come back. We talking, I think the football travel party, like I say, upwards of 100. People have different things they have to do when they get there, so everybody's on different itineraries. It's charter flights involved now. We didn't have charter flights in the past, so I think it's that, you can't break it into pieces. You have to move a team, and so the coordination, logistics, and what that does, purchasing, procurement, all the things that it changes. That has been kind of one of the things internally for athletics. And then I think realizing the amount of people that work at the university that haven't been at a football school. So for me, it's fun being able to just educate the campus on this, what it means for us to be an FCS institution. This is what we can expect. And everybody's excited, getting them on board to what that really means. So I think those are two of the ones. And then our campus, 70% female. So,
oh my God!
Imagine dropping 100 plus players at one time into that ecosystem.
100 plus boys.
So it's even changing our campus on that level because there's just more young men than we've traditionally had on the campus. So, right.
So many unspoken talks.
Yes.
Wow, I'm stuck just off of that. Like I didn't think about that. Good luck, ladies. Congratulations.
Right.
So before we wrap, the first game is August 28th. 29th. Okay. Nobody needs to sleep there. We're going to tailgate. What are we going to do on opening day? What's happening?
So if people ask what they can expect from the game day experience, if you ever experienced black college football, that's what we are. Chicago State University, predominantly black institution, and that's what we're going to bring. Black college football experience to our fans. Our band, Marching Soul of Chicago, will be there. Our football team, you heard from Coach, they'll be ready, they'll be there. But the atmosphere that we're going to create is going to be one for family, family fun and football. We're going to create that to where we are the destination. We know we're in Chicago, or we'll be in Bridgeport, Bridgeview, and a lot of things. You have a lot of options when you live in Chicago. That's what people enjoy about the city. But our 5 game days this fall, we want to create where that is the option, where that's the destination. And so we asking everybody to come out on the 29th and check us out. And what I can guarantee, if you come on the 29th, you will have a good experience and you'll come back to see us. So.
And I want people, even if you didn't go to Chicago State, I want you to buy your Chicago State merch. Yes. And sit down so you'll be prepared and you show your loyalty to this, what can only be described as a brimming institution that's going to be amazing, that is impactful, that's already changing the lives of Chicago's kids. And we thank you for that. So we're going to wrap because there's things that we have to talk about that's not y'all business. And so Dr. Carroll and Coach Robbie Rome, I want to thank you both for joining.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
For bringing D1 football to the South Side, guys.
Thank you.
At a predominantly black institution, Black Chicago, on full display.
All day.
Thank y'all.
Thank you
so much for joining and watching another episode of Chicago News Weekly's Behind the Cover. My name is Laura Miller. Take care. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Behind the Cover. Behind the Cover is a product of Chicago News Weekly and the CNW studio. Today's episode is produced by CaveRoom Entertainment. You can find more episodes from the CNW network on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, and YouTube. Be sure to visit cnwmedia.com to catch up on the latest issues and stories from Chicago News Weekly.